Beyond the beat, slow feet don't eat. You went and made it, was your story. Beyond the beat, come talk with Teek. We all can make it, share your story. Beyond the beat, beyond, wavy. Beyond the beat, beyond.
Yo, welcome to the weekly close with CIC, where realtors keep it real and drop the knowledge you need about today's market. I'm your host, Teek the Agent, and every week we're breaking it down, the wins, the lessons, and the moves you can make to buy, sell, and invest with confidence. Let's get it.
Hey y'all, it's Dr. Akai, the Realtor here.
Come on, doctor.
Gotta say it.
And Sophie with the House of Sophie.
All right, Sophie, and our special guest, Tom Hoobler.
Yes, I'm Tom Hoobler. I'm with Nexa Mortgage.
Yes,
You gotta
and
get you a
he's
tagline, Tom.
and you're a repeat. So thank you for that.
I love
We
going
liked him
there.
so much he got to come back.
I know.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. They don't come back twice. We gotta
Oh,
like
you
you.
the first one.
We
Yes.
gotta like you.
Yay!
There it is.
Look, where's my where is
Love it.
that? Where is it at? It's right here somewhere. It's right here somewhere.
Our fan
You
club?
are a
There we found our
repeat.
fan club.
I love it.
Today we're going to be talking about the domino effect when sellers are buying a house and what that looks like on all ends of the transaction. We recently just had a transaction, Akai and I, where our sellers were both buying, and they were buying kind of like each other's house, but it was actually 3 transactions in one. So they were, and it was weird because were yours contingent?
No, they were
Okay,
not.
so no one was contingent. This is the
Right.
funny part about it, which is a good thing, right? Because you can still buy without selling your house.
Right.
But at the same time, you have 3 different lenders all working together to make sure that we close on time. On time meaning that one person would like to close before the other so
Yeah.
they can have that funding. Even though it wasn't contingent, we want to make sure that we kind of handled that request, just to make all the other ones fall in line like a domino effect. So if one person don't proceed, it kind of falls through where all the other transactions don't move forward. Explain to us that, because that was a whole big deal, and we came to you. First, I want to thank you so much for coming to open houses. Did y'all know that lenders come to open houses? Because literally, his first open house, he was able to get a client, and it was crazy because we did like 2 or 3 before that, and then I'm like, oh, I guess you got the magic touch. So FYI, if I ever get another listing, you will be there.
Oh, for sure,
Okay.
I will be there.
I'm gonna say like shout out to those lenders that actually do. Right,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
there's some that just won't. They
Right.
just expect for the referral to come their way. They do the work and then they're bouncing. But like
Right.
you were
There's-
literally in the work, like in the trenches with us.
Well, because of this, right? I mean, lightning strikes.
Yeah.
And you got to be there to capture it in a bottle.
Yeah.
And I
so-
actually didn't even, I knew because that's how I met you, right? But that was at a whole nother brokerage that you came to an open house, and we had so much fun. And then I kind of
We
forgot.
almost got a deal there, too.
We did.
That was so
We,
close.
yeah. See, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're
So-
locked in. Now we're locked in.
Yeah. I wasn't as aggressive as I am now because I was a newer agent,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
But I remember you from there, and then you kind of like pinged me like, hey, I can come to your open house, and it's just so funny. You came, it happened, we're done.
Yeah.
So the Midas touch you got.
Nice.
And how long was that it took y'all from start to finish?
Oh my gosh, 20 days.
20 days.
Yeah, and so that's what I wanted to bring up, too. Thanks
Okay.
for
Yeah.
bringing that up, because
Yeah.
this was a domino closing with a 20-day close, which kudos to you guys for keeping
Oh.
your
Yeah,
sanity.
wait. Go ahead, give yourself a clap. Go
Oh,
ahead.
hold on.
That is some serious sanity raking right there, right?
Oh, we would.
Some magic had to happen.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
very cool stuff. From a lending point of view, I mean, the time to close really isn't so much of an issue because it's just, for me, it's will the client proceed, right? Are they going to get their docs in on time? And thankfully, we had great clients that were willing to get their stuff in and do what needed to be done when it needed to be done. And that's a big part of it, right? So as long as that part of it's happening, our side of it isn't terribly difficult, especially when we're looking and we've done our due diligence up front and we can see deep down inside of it and know what we're working with, right? And for these clients, they were really good clients.
Yeah.
Both had good jobs, they had some money, they had a backup plan, right? There was all sorts of real positive environments in there for us to be able to work with, to know, hey, we have a high probability that this is going to go through.
Yeah.
Right. And that's really all you can ask for at this point.
Yeah,
Right.
we literally, this was one of those, oh my God, just blessings from the sky, because they were good clients, right? They literally came in, they saw what they wanted, they did what they needed, and got what they wanted in the end. They had everything already lined up. It went fast for them because they were thinking like, oh, it's just a casual, let's go into an open house thing. But then you go somewhere, you fall in love, and then you and your spouse sit down, make a decision, we're going to do this. They literally had plan A, B, and C, just in case one didn't work out or the other.
Right.
And they literally went with plan B. A didn't work out because they had one of those situations where it just didn't go through. Here we are at B. We didn't even have to get to C. But I like the fact that they came to me with a plan A, B, and C. I love that for the clients who are ready.
And what we classify as good clients is those that trust us as licensed professionals to guide them.
Yeah.
And that's what made them good clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they trusted her wholeheartedly, like, okay, what's next? This is what we're thinking, but what do you think? And when they keep you involved like that, it makes the difference in what realtors classify as good clients.
Yeah. So for me, it's a little bit of a different scenario, right? Because I need that trust to be able to do that, but I also need to be able to have you open enough to where I can see inside what's going on. And sometimes that's a difficult thing, right? Because we talked about this before. It's income, assets, and credit, right? I need to be able to peek into there. I gotta, open that. You gotta open that book up for me to be able to see what's happening. What are we doing in those environments? And if I can see that, then we can connect dots fast.
Yeah, because full transparency, right? Like I'm showing you, I'm not hiding anything from you because I want you to get me the best, put me in the best situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think too, like that's what our listeners out there, if you guys, when we say good clients, I mean, you all are pretty good people. But when we say good clients, we're talking about the transaction, not you, right?
Right.
And we're
That's
talking
why,
about, making sure we have what we need. So when Tom is saying, say the credit, say the three things that you just mentioned.
Yeah. Income,
Assets.
and credit. So when we're talking about that, those things are aligned for you, and you are willing to share those things up front so that we can do a smooth transaction.
Yeah,
that's what makes a good client.
Like when you talk to them, they're like,
Because it's like going to the doctor.
It's a little bit, right?
Did you eat the pork or not?
Yeah, yeah. It's a little intrusive, right? But yeah, just let us kind of go through our question. I don't need to know your whole world history, but I do need to kind of get some information. And so when we see that, in this particular example, though, the hitch in it wasn't on their side. It was on the selling of their home.
Right. Yeah.
And so on my side of the transaction, it was, I need this home to sell.
Yeah.
Which was their current, so that they could downsize into the home that you had listed.
Right.
And so that was the trick in this situation.
Right.
So when you're working with that side of it, we need to be able to see, do you have the funds to be able to get this done? You have them, but can you get them?
Right.
And the get them was sell your home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And so when we're looking at that, and where Kai and I think, our biggest hold your breath scenarios always came down to what's happening with that side of
On
it.
the other side.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have any control too much. I don't know about your side of it. I don't.
We didn't have any control over it. The buyers in this situation, they were considered
I'm gonna let her.
tech. What'd you call them? Anyway,
Tech-enabled real estate companies.
Tech-enabled companies. These tech-enabled real estate companies. They really held the purse strings in the moment. And I'm not going to say we didn't have any control over it. No urgency whatsoever, even though that's what we stressed in the beginning, because we told them we had a hard deadline of this date, and we were trying to make it happen before that date. But with the holidays, some title companies don't work on the holidays or the weekend, or, even this company, because it's not even an Arizona-based company.
Right.
So we were at their mercy, and we just didn't really have any control until, it came down to the wire.
And so, and to me, this is the reason why I love doing this podcast, right? Because I'm surrounded by people right now that this is your livelihood. This is my livelihood.
Right.
Right. When you work for a corporation, you hide inside the corporation with your livelihood. Right. You don't care if the corporation, so to speak, maybe you get written up. Maybe you take a you take a hit, right? Because you didn't do your job. You didn't answer your phone on the weekend or the the whatever. For us, there's no weekend. There's no holiday. There's nothing.
No,
right?
we don't have an option.
I think I called you at like 8 o'clock on
I wouldn't
Friday
care.
morning.
No.
Friday morning after Thanksgiving. I'm like, Kai, where we at?
No, look, not before it even got started. I was like 10 o'clock. I think me and you were like 9:30, 10.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Kai was like, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. What girl?
Do it now.
He woke. I told you. I said no.
Do it
He's
now.
woke. Call him now. He's waiting on your call.
And we had moments where like Teek will text, hey, when you get up, email me this. It's 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, I'm an email. And then she texts me, say, thank you. No, I'm up. You said when I get up, I guess it's just a courtesy, but no, I'm up and we're making it happen. It was one of those situations where there is no, we can't think about what time it is.
No.
Morning or night. We can't think about that because our clients need us at that time. Right.
Yeah.
And if we drop the ball, we're, that's it for us.
Right. So you were at the start of the ball. So I felt like I was in there with you because, I put you in that, we were in that same environment. So it was kind of like, okay, I'm not going to let you drop the ball.
Right.
So if I need something or you need something, I'm going to make sure you get it.
Right.
I told and I want to say this, that was my first listing, by the way. But I already knew in my head if I ever got a listing, this is how I would do it.
Okay.
And so I had that set up and I was like, if I get one, I get one, but I was ready. So I was always like, I'm going to set them up in the beginning for what could happen. And that's why I think it was successful. So the things that I was doing, they already were ready for, right? So I'm like, listen, we're going to be talking a lot. You're going to feel like celebrities because you're going to sign a lot. You're going to sign your autograph a lot. No, I told them this in the beginning. And I said, I'm going to be calling you sometimes or texting you or emailing you at 5, 6, 7, 8 in the morning. That doesn't mean you have to respond, but I need to get it out so you know.
Right.
And I was like, and we might we might have a buyer that's ready. We might have a buyer that's not. We might have to start over. We might have to accept backups. So everything that happened, they were ready for.
Nice.
They wasn't surprised when I'd be like, oh,
Perfect.
I need you to do this. I need you to change that. They can't do this. They didn't give me any fight. And I think that's what helped the transaction move along.
It does.
Well,
That's
and also
exactly
you
it.
just do a lot for your clients and people in general. So I think that they were okay with listening to what you had to say and listening to like how the process was going to go down. Because a lot of people maybe don't respect like other people's time or what they're doing for you. Like we're trying to help you do something. I'm putting all my efforts and all of my work into this to help you. Please listen to me so that we can get this done as quick as possible.
Right.
I'm the professional here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So with that being said, Tom, tell us what it looked like from your side. So with these particular buyers, I know, right? With these particular buyers, they were ready to put a smaller deposit down payment down, but they wanted to sell their home so they can put a larger down payment down. Like, talk to us about like why you think they did that and what their pain points were and like how that process actually worked as it relates to the communication with you all.
Let me see if I can. So basically what ended up happening is they had two choices, right? They could have either, kept their current home and sold it later, and I'll cover that in just a second, or they could sell their current home and do a bigger down payment and manage their new mortgage payment, which is ideal for them. Again, not to harp on that tech-enabled real estate company, but that's where the pain point was in this transaction. So for those people who are listening to this, right, be wary of those companies, right? Because they're not going to move quickly. Right. And so you need to allow more time in there, especially if you plan to negotiate with those companies. So for them, it was getting that in. If they decided to sell after purchasing, right? So they're going to keep their current home and then purchase their new home. The advantage that they had there is once their home sold, they would have an influx of cash. That influx of cash then could be used to lower their monthly payment through what's called a recast. So this is not a new term. It's a term that a lot of people are not familiar with. But basically what it does is it allows you to put money towards your principal balance. After you have closed on your home, nothing else changes. Your rate stays the same. Your time to pay off stays the same. All they're going to do is readjust your monthly payment so that you have a lower monthly obligation. And so it's a really good tool specifically for this situation had they gone that route. The only caveat here is there are no government programs that do that. And so you'd have to do a conventional loan and non-jumbo on top of that. There are a few jumbo lenders out there that'll do that, but they're very, very few.
Right. And with the recast, guys, after paying down your principal payment, this is something that I learned after the fact. Well, during the process, because Tom explained it to me, that would help them with their monthly payment.
Right.
It wouldn't be as much as it would have been when they closed. Well, as it was when they closed. Doing the recast helps their monthly payment, which ultimately was their pain point. They wanted a low monthly payment. They were in a home with a 3% interest rate, really low payment, and they wanted to downsize, but they wanted to make sure that they were paying around the same amount that they were paying, before. And that was really important to them to make sure their monthly budget, stayed the same. Either way it happened, whether they do it, do the large lump sum, sell their home before they close and or do the recast afterwards, it would have put them where they needed to be. So that's why I said plan A didn't work necessarily for them with the first company that they tried to use, but plan B did, and they ultimately got what it is that they wanted. And that is a low monthly mortgage payment.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important when you guys come to us and you say, oh, I want this dollar amount house. I'm always like, the first question is, what do you feel comfortable paying a month?
Right.
Because my clients was the same way. They wanted their mortgage to be this amount. And the lender was good at helping them achieve that by, if you want this amount, this monthly amount, then you have to put down this much, which came from the sale of their home. So yes, they could have still gotten a mortgage without that, but this is what your mortgage is going to be, right? And they wasn't comfortable with that. So you make the proper adjustments to get to where you need to be.
That's right.
So when they come to us and be like, what's the interest rate? I'm like, why are you asking? And they're like, I don't know. I want to be able to pay this. I said, well, that's a better question. Yeah. Let's talk to the lender to see if they can get you at that $1,700 a month mortgage.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that even happen anymore? Like, for real? Like,
no, but it sounded good when she said it to me. So she said it to me, so I said it to Tom.
And I know Tom's like, are you serious?
No, he's like, I can get you there, but this is your amount.
Well, we kind of did.
You did do it, but yeah. So
wow.
This is the
you guys like got them to what that could look like. What was the
and we
caveat,
actually
what was the sacrifice?
And we actually got a prequal for that amount. So it's not on him. I feel like the ball is in that client's court now, because it's kind of like, okay, all the wants and not your needs, it's your wants. You're gonna have to scale those back a little bit, because you're not gonna get this for that. And I know the market, and I know when I look at a certain dollar amount what you can get for that bucket. And if you want a fixer-upper, it'll work for that. But if you want, 5 or 6 bedrooms.
I kind of think like we're talking in codes right now. So basically, you're saying if you want a $1,700 a month mortgage, be expected to purchase a $250,000 condo.
Yeah.
Well, not even a condo, because condo comes with HOA fees. And I think people need to consider HOA. This pre-qual is with no HOA and no solar. So it can't be with those things, because that makes the payment higher. Right. So we're looking at without that. So it can't be a townhouse. It can't be a condo. It can't be. It got to be a single family house at
without
that point.
HOA.
Yeah, without no HOA, no solar. So because we look at houses every single day, and we look at numbers, and we look at those kind of things, we know already as professionals what you can get in that area, right? Because it depends on the area. That plays a big thing, and that's why I be telling people.
My last close was in Tucson, 150.
That's why that congratulations.
Oh wow, yeah,
150.
Congratulations.
Yeah, or if you're going to Maricopa, go to Maricopa.
Yeah,
you can get
$250,000 house in Maricopa.
You know what I mean?
And I tell people they pay for location. You guys are
Yeah.
paying for location.
And
You
zip
could go
codes.
you could go to Scottsdale.
Yeah, the 150 is not
And-
next to the Taj Mahal.
Right, right.
Right.
Well, you can go to Scottsdale and pay like $1 million, and the house is old.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're
1950s.
paying for the location if
Yeah.
that's where you want to
And
be.
they're beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them.
There's some
Some
bad
of them
ones.
need
Yeah.
a little bit of work, but
Yeah, yeah. But a
hey.
lot of people like that. They like that
Yeah.
old feel. They
I
like
do.
that. So
The
it
historic.
depends on, if you balling on a budget or,
Yeah.
are you
Or
do
you're
you-
willing to drive a little bit more.
or
You're willing to be
drive
out
or
the way.
fix up. Do you
Yeah.
got people in your family that are handymen and they can update? Then we need to
Or does
take
your
that
realtor
concern.
have connections and people to put you on? You know.
That part.
that'd be great too.
That part. So
So talking about the domino effect, guys, again, both of our sellers were also in the process of purchasing.
Okay,
Right.
wait. So you guys also said something earlier about they were not contingent. So what makes it not contingent versus like when you see a buyer contingent?
Good
Good
question.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So contingent just means do we need to sell your home
I can't do it without
to,
that.
to purchase, right?
Mhm. So what would an example of that be like if they were paid off, or if they had enough money for a down payment, or enough money they make enough money that they can get another loan, or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things there. So it's gonna fall inside the income bracket, and it's gonna fall inside the asset bracket in the income, assets, and credit. So from the income point of view, do you make enough to cover not only your current bills, but to take on another mortgage payment, right? So you're keeping this mortgage payment potentially, right? It could be paid off. I think this one was, right? Or no. They
Yeah,
had a
we
mortgage on it.
Yeah, we had a
So,
mortgage.
can you continue to make that payment, take on a
Right.
new payment? Does your debt load, balance that out,
Right.
right? Do you have that ability to carry that? And is it going to be less than 50% of your income?
So like mine was paid off, right? They didn't need to sell. So potentially they
That's
could have.
where the paid off
Yeah,
is. I knew
they
there was a
they
paid off.
could have bought their house and rented that one out if they wanted to because
Right.
they didn't
Yeah.
owe anything, right? But they wanted their mortgage to be a certain amount, so they took that sale money to add to that.
Right. And so that's the asset side of it, right?
Yes.
So now we have this
Their
cash,
equity.
the equity in their home
Yeah.
that they're transferring over.
Right.
Right. And so you have to kind of consider that too, because if they're not bringing that cash over, what is that doing to the mortgage payment up front? Even though you're going to later do this recast,
Yeah.
right? We got to fix this obstacle first, right? And in this situation, these clients were able to carry both payments regardless.
Right.
So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
So they didn't absolutely need to sell their home
Right.
before purchasing this home because they could afford both mortgages.
Right.
Right.
However, they didn't want to do
Yeah.
that. So
Right.
that's
Right.
why we didn't do
Very
that's
much
why we
did not wanna do
didn't
that.
submit a Yeah, they didn't. That's why we did not submit a contingent offer on this side because they just wanted the best deal. They knew how much Tom did a good job with explaining how much money you would need to put down to get this amount to make it to your monthly payment, or you need to put down this amount and make it your monthly payment. He also went into, even if you put this amount down, you can get this much in seller concessions, and that will cover the closing
Right.
costs, that will cover repairs.
Right.
He's like, but if you only put this amount down, you can get even more, like up to 6% seller concession. So Tom did a great job with explaining what that looks like, so that if you wanted to make it a contingent offer, you could, but you don't have to
Right.
because here are your options.
Right. But I like that you do that up front. So not a lot of lenders do that. You tell me up front when you send me the pre-qual, this is based on this amount of seller concession. You know what I mean? So I already know going in the door when I'm doing offers, this is the amount that I need to request.
Yeah, let's talk about those seller
Yeah,
concessions.
because no. Okay. That's not happening. So seller concession. So yeah, okay. So let's talk about the seller concessions because they got more than what we normally would get. But
Amazing job.
that's because
I knocked it out of
but
the
that's
park.
because we in the beginning baked these numbers. Remember, I was telling you I told them this is the amount. These are the percentages, and I tagged them with dollar amounts. You guys need to disregard this out of your proceeds.
Right.
Period.
Well, and
right.
that's
So
perfect.
it was a little bit of shift, but it still worked out
Mm-hmm.
in their favor. Right. It was kind of like, yeah, they want this amount,
Mm-hmm.
but we could just take it from this and move it over to here, and it still won't hurt you. right? So anything that you given is a plus, but they're still being accommodating by adjusting their schedules to close a little bit earlier than we had to. So I had to explain to them, this is a this for that. Do you want this money or no? Because if not, then we could push this out a week. But no, you want this money because
That's what's making this market such a great market for not only first-time home buyers, but mostly first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
It is making it such an easy to get into market for first-time home buyers right now because of seller concessions.
Yes.
And I cannot stress that enough.
Yes, and that's our number one selling point. Like, they can pay for, this and that and this, and we've actually been seeing it happen.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're just saying these. No, we have proven fact that this has happened. And even it's funny because when we close, I don't think realtors kind of know that we can see what the concessions were when you make a sale. It's public information. So after we close, I got an inbox off your deal, Akai, and it was like, oh my God, 5%? Good job. And I was like, what? So
it is a good job.
Yeah.
That's a great job.
Yeah. So
when you understand your clients and you are willing to go to bat for them, it doesn't sound like a lot. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I feel like the accommodation that they were making on their side earned them that amount.
Right.
They made a lot of accommodations one, of course, they wanted the home. They loved the home and they wanted to purchase it, but they also made a lot of sacrifices and accommodations to the sellers to ensure that it was a good deal on both sides. And ultimately it was. I mean, because if you look at the numbers in that sale, that was a good deal.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah.
On both sides.
And everything that I educated them on in the beginning happened. So I felt like I gained more trust. Like I know what I'm doing, you know. So the appraisal came out to what I told them it should have been listed as. I mean, everything that I said was
because they wanted more for it originally, right?
Yeah, remember that first weekend we getting ready to list? She had a ton of information that she had given them already. But then when we got in the mix and we were like, did you look at these numbers? Did you look at these? Did you tell them that? She was like, yeah, I told them. Because what we're looking at from the outside looking in, trying to find buyers is this is what I'm going to negotiate for the buyer. And the clients needed to know that. But she had already told them. It's like,
so when we got it was like, okay, you told us da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, bring it on. We got it. We accept it.
Yeah. So let's go over what we were able to do with this, though, because that's where it really helped, I think, just make this a great deal to an exceptional deal to me. Because we were able to get these seller concessions, not only did we not pay for closing costs, so if we refinance, right, that'll be the first time they pay a title fee. Yep. Which is amazing, right? Because in a lowering rate market, which right now we still are, right? That gives you that opportunity to look at a refinance opportunity later without paying title fees twice. Yeah. Huge.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
The other side of this is we were actually able to buy down the interest rate. Permanently.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Okay. The other side of this is we were also able to do a 1-1 buy down, which is a temporary buy down for 2 years.
Yep. Oh, wow. I thought it was just one. Go
Crazy.
So
That's amazing.
It is. It's such
I thought it was 1 year
deal,
too.
right? So I don't remember they had. I think it's something like a mid-5 rate is what we were able to get locked in by buying it down.
And that's
right?
amazing too.
And then we get another year or 2 years, so it's a 1-1.
Yep.
So it's a stupid way of saying it, but anyway. So basically, it's saying we're going to lower the interest rate down for the first year, 1 point, and then we're going to lower it again 1 point for the second year. So it's 2 1-point drops. So they're going into a mid-4, right, for the next 2 years.
Wow.
Now, here's where it gets better. With these temporary buy downs, I'm getting all choked up. With these temporary buy downs, if we refinance, none of that money goes to waste. That money gets brought back to the client.
Oh,
wow. Oh, wow.
So they don't lose that money.
Oh, we finna refi something.
Well, I mean, they don't have to now, because they're in a good position. But if, God forbid, anything, happens and rates go back up, that might be a possibility. But the good thing is they don't lose the money. Yeah. It's not like they're not going to have to pay for this again, Wow, Wow, I didn't know that.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Right. So there's temporary buy downs. There's a 1-0, which is really common, right? And that's
Yep.
just
The
1
1
year,
year.
1 year,
1 year,
1
1
point.
point.
Okay.
Right. Then you have your 1-1, which is 1 point, 1 point over 2 years. Right.
So it goes down 1 point the first year, and the second year it goes down another 1 point, or it just keeps it.
Yeah.
It keeps it.
Right.
Okay.
So just think of that as a negative.
2-year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then you have a 2-1 buy down,
Okay.
right?
2 points. 1
2
year.
points the first year,
Yeah.
1 point the second year. So if
Okay.
you start off with a mid 5,
Okay.
on a 2-1, your first year goes down to a mid 3, and your second year is a mid 4, and then it comes back up on year 3 to your original rate,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't think a lot of people
And
realize
again-
that.
Right. And
Because
again,
I feel like they're on, in their mind, they're on down payment assistance. I'm like, this is a better deal.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
saying you can't do a combination. I don't know, but I
that would
always
be-
hear people come and saying
Yeah.
down payment. I'm like, there's other options to get you to where you need to be.
Right.
That was a back in the day thing where that's all they had, because they didn't have rate buy downs back then, right?
I don't know.
I've never heard.
Don't know
I just
how long they've been
yeah,
around.
yeah. But I always hear down payment assistance. I want down payment assistance. And I'm like, well, let's talk about the real issue. Where do you need to be in your mortgage? It's coming back down to how much you can afford,
Right.
not so much as what the interest rate is, or I want down pay. So you don't have no money to put down. That's really the whole thing.
Then you
Well, let's
probably
look at your
shouldn't
I
Oh my
love
gosh.
down payment assistance programs.
Yeah.
So I do.
Yeah.
Because look at it this way, right? If we're in a down payment assistance program, let's say it's a $300,000 home.
Okay.
Okay. That's a pretty common first time home buyer home right
Yes.
now. It's 300.
Yes.
So 3.5 on 300 is 10.5. Right?
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I think
Right,
I'm
right.
right.
Okay.
Okay. To save up $10,500 for a first time home buyer,
Yes.
how realistic is that?
Right.
Right.
Right. I got
Right?
you. So if you got somebody who can help you do it and get it and be done with it,
But if I'm only increasing your mortgage payment by say $100,
right.
because that's literally
maybe it's a slightly higher interest rate too, so maybe you're paying for that.
Right.
Let's say it's an increase of somewhere between $300 and $500, right? What is $300 and $500 divided into 10.5?
Right.
It's over a year. It's a year and a half.
Yep.
It's
Right.
it's 2 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Now we've missed this market, which is where sellers are covering closing costs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. We're getting into who knows what market. Right. And if rates do come down, then we've got more people coming in, and sellers are going, "Oh, I don't need to do this."
Competition.
Right.
Right. So this gets you into your first home.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm excited about this market.
Yeah.
I
Right.
really am. And I have been for a while.
Yeah.
There's just
Right.
a lot of opportunity out there.
And
And it's
there
all about
really
talking
is.
to the right people and having the right conversations to figure out what you can do.
And I think it's also getting people out of the conversations that were happening 10
years
50,
ago.
Yeah, because it's not
20
the
years
it's
ago.
not the same.
It is a
No.
different market,
Not
right?
even 5 years ago.
Right. Yesterday,
Not
I think
even
rates. Look, I think rates were just cut again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
The Fed
things.
rate.
Yeah.
The Fed
So
rate.
yeah, not the treasury. Yeah. The Fed rate.
Not the mortgage
But
rates.
people, yeah, see, and that's another thing,
Yeah.
right? When they Google and say, "Well, rates were cut," and whose rates?
Yeah.
Like, you got to pay attention to that. If you're gonna pay attention to half that part, pay attention to the other half. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, talking to a lender, that's always my first thing to say, because I got your link on speed dial. Here go the link. Like, because that's really the first step.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not shopping. We can always go out and look at inventory, but if it's not in your budget, you kind of just window shopping at
Yeah.
that point. And
And that's
Just
it,
keep
right?
looking online.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might as well.
Start
Go
with
to
lending.
open houses.
yeah, start going to open houses. I strongly suggest that for people, is to suggest open houses, because there's a ton of open houses out here that you guys can go to and look at. Zillow posts them all the time. They'll just say open house. You can actually search by open house to go check and see what that neighborhood is like, what the market looks like.
Yeah.
I think that's the best suggestion for first time home buyers, to see like, oh yeah, okay, 250 would give me 2 bedrooms, right? Comfortably and modern. Now you going into to the 3s and the 4s, I kind of look at that like hundreds of thousands to me. Like when I look at 200,000, I look at 2 bedroom, $300, $300. That's how I look at it, because I feel like most of the inventory out there kind of aligns with that, right? You might have someone who want to sell a little bit lower and you will get an extra bedroom, but it might be smaller, right? Because I don't think people understand they sell by square feet of the house.
Price per
So
square foot.
right, exactly. So the bigger the house, the more the money. That's just how it goes. Location and all of that plays a factor, but open houses is going to be where you need to start.
I would say, that's why we do things like this podcast, right? Education is so important. You're going to be making the largest purchase of your entire life for the most of us, right? And I totally agree with the both of you. Start with lending. Open houses are great, but you can walk around and look at all these
Window
great,
shoppers.
pretty houses all day. Go through the kitchen. Oh my God, look at this oven. This is a chef's kitchen.
Right.
But if you can't afford it, we're just literally dreaming. And we're
Right.
wishing on a hope and a prayer.
Let me piggyback off something that you said, because this, I think, is where, I love Teek's brain, okay? Because in the beginning when she was doing this podcast, we were talking about it. I had mentioned at one point, maybe I was thinking of doing a podcast, maybe. We'll see. I don't
He
know what's
also
going
I'll
to
be
happen.
on
sings
that.
and writes music.
Oh yeah. You're going to give us that song. We're not going to let you out of it.
We're not going to forget.
I'm supposed to be doing a show here. We'll see.
I'm coming.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
No. My brain just shifted hard. Anyway, but with Teek, it was, hey, I don't want to just do the $1 million person podcast, which is what we hear.
Yes.
Right? Everybody's doing I'm a millionaire, and so I want to come out and tell you how I got there. Look, we're not there.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
No.
And our buyers and our sellers are not there.
No.
Right. This is your everyday podcast right here.
Yep.
This is your everyday
You heard it here
example. This
first.
is, you know what I'm saying?
Yep,
And
absolutely.
this was her idea
Yes.
from the beginning. Right.
Absolutely. Yep. Talking about real things with real
Yeah.
people.
They're like,
What
these
are
are
you saying?
situations.
Real
Yeah.
people,
real
answers.
real answers,
Right.
Yeah.
with the realtors that
Brilliant.
like really want you to understand. And on this podcast in particular,
Yeah.
our number one thing is educating the clients.
Right.
Ask us whatever question you want to ask us. We're going to give you the real live
What
We're not going
happened?
to sugarcoat
situation.
No, we
We're
can't.
going
Oh,
straight
well, I
up.
don't even know if it's about like sugarcoating. It's more so about just like being honest, because a lot of people go into situations like purchasing a home and they just don't know. The next year, I hear people talk all the time about, oh, I bought this new bill and the next year my mortgage went up $1,000. Well, that's because you don't have real people telling you that, hey, maybe
Yeah.
they
They're
didn't
not working
include the
for you,
property
they're working
taxes.
for
Yeah.
them.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
They're
sorry.
working for the
this
property
number-
management company, the builder.
This number
Yeah.
that you went in there without a realtor.
Yeah.
This
Always
number
have an
that they
agent.
gave you is just for this year
It's the
because it
base.
doesn't include
Yeah.
property taxes. This number doesn't include the value of what it
And
could
you don't know what
be
to
next
ask
year.
because you don't know what to expect.
Exactly.
Especially
So-
when it's your first time.
So we just give it to them. I feel like if you give it to them raw up front, then they won't be sticker shocked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, I'm always like, this is what could happen and this is what could happen. And if that decision is made, where are we going? I felt like I said
And
that. I felt like I said that a million times during our transaction because I need to know if they say no, then what we're doing.
Yeah.
But if they say yes, then we can proceed. Right. So
Yeah.
I think I'm always one up to say what could happen. I'm not going to say, oh, they're going to accept it and we'll be
Right.
fine. No, that's because it's not reality.
Right.
Right.
I had a listing in Maricopa and they were like, oh, well, this is what I want. I did the comps. I did the numbers. The year was 2022, so I already knew. And I was just like, yeah, this is what you could get. It's not going to be what you owe. So you're going to be a little bit upside down. How does that make you feel?
Right.
And they're like, no, I want this. I can't accept that listing. And I didn't
And-
accept that
yeah.
listing because I can't promise you something that's not going to happen. So we're wasting each other time. You might want to stay a couple more years before you decide to sell.
And going into like, sometimes as real estate professionals, we have to understand sometimes that works for people. Like they want you to tell them up front.
Yeah.
But some people that may not work for. And it's okay. Like we have to also understand as professionals, everybody ain't your
Yes,
client.
you gotta pick
everybody's not for everybody.
Yes.
But
you don't have
for-
to say yes.
for that group, right? That group of people that want to learn, not just purchase, they want to also learn so they can make another purchase. That's how you become a millionaire.
Right.
Not just one purchase, one experience,
Right.
one
Because
time.
you can with real estate. replicate.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
And I'm just not
easily.
going to any more podcasts that say this is how I became a millionaire, and then let me show you, and then they don't show you.
Let me tell you something. If I become a millionaire,
They say come buy my product, come buy my course,
listen,
and then that's how they became.
if
a
I
millionaire.
become a millionaire, I am not going to be broadcasting that because my family is going to be like, T, on that podcast, you
We're back
said
in
no.
December
Guys,
25.
I am still, look, I'm not even $100-aire. I'm $1-aire at this point. So I know y'all like, oh, T closed 2 houses, but y'all don't really I don't think people who are not agents understand what that means because people usually go right and Google the house and they be like, oh man, that house is $800,000. T must got, you just telling me what you think I got. It's so funny. And I just be like, yeah, that's not it because
I just want to.
you're going to be in the red. You're going to be in the red for a while as an agent. And that was the misconception we had in the beginning. Like, oh, we finna do this. We ain't got no clients.
you got to find the people.
But to be honest, in real estate, and when we first started, that's all people kept telling us was find your people. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Right.
You not telling me what that means.
Right. Because
who
there's-
are
how
the
do-
people?
how
No,
do you- but
where
now
are
that you
where
know-
they at?
Hold on though. Okay, that's a great statement because for me as well, right? And I heard the same thing. But now answer that question.
Yep. Answer
I
the
know.
question.
I got
Right?
people.
Yeah, we got people. Now we got people,
But
and now we know.
But you see, how are you going to answer that for somebody
Yeah.
else? You can't.
Right.
I can't.
It is the answer. It's like parenting. It's like, you got to parent your child. Okay, how?
How
You
right?
just-
Right. Well,
And
your
then-
child is not my child.
My
so-
Naturally, it comes and you find your way, find
Yeah.
your people. But and also your people aren't people that everybody that does the same thing you does.
Right.
My people, when someone says, find your people and how did you find your people? My people were doing transactions like this. Now, I can say Tom is my people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could say you and Sophie are my people because we're like literally in this process together. We understand each other. We speak the same language. From lenders to title companies, FYI, there's
title
some
companies,
title
Jesus.
companies
Shout
that I
out
will
to
never
WFG.
ever use.
Shout out to WFG
Ever,
title.
let me say ever, never. I will ever, never use if I have the choice. Of course, it's the client's choice, but I would never recommend because they are just so horrible. But when you find your people,
You stick
that
with 'em.
transaction is
stick with 'em.
so easy. You don't have to worry about telling somebody to do their job. You don't have to ask somebody, hey, where are you in this process? Because I'm getting
You
constant
know
updates.
where they are.
So the people
I know exactly where they are,
your
and that's
people-
why
Well,
they
I mean,
my
I
people.
know where you
Right.
physically are.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I know
Right.
where you are.
Right.
I know that it's like, no, I know where she's at.
Right. Right. Your people are going to make your transaction seamless.
Absolutely.
And I need you not to be offended when I call you late. And I'm not offended when you call me late because I know everything is crucial in our world. And it's our bread and butter, too. So the harder you work, you will reap the benefits of that.
Good teams do good work.
Sometimes I'm
Yep.
up at 4 a.m. and I'm just bored, so I'm sending listings to my clients, and they're like, "Why are we up at 4 a.m.?" I
Yeah.
don't know. I just got up and I was up, and
Or she'll text
And,
me and be
text
like,
Teek
why
and-
did you respond? I'm like, because I'm up. What you mean?
but I don't want to
I'm not gonna have that problem.
accidentally wake somebody up. But it's just random hours, all the time.
All right, Tom. We
If I'm
wrap
up
it.
at 4, that's because I stayed up.
No. I want you to give a shout out of how we can find you and how clients can find you.
Oh, yeah. I'll say this. The easiest way to find me is to text me,
Okay.
right? 623-628-6058. But I'm sure she'll put that on something.
I will. I'll find it and
We'll
put it
put it
on
on the screen.
something. All right, guys. That's a wrap. You've been rocking with the weekly close with CIC, Real Agents, Real Story, Real Talk. Catch us next week. Same time, new gym. Stay locked in.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Tom.
Beyond the beat, beyond the beat.